So responding to a comment, it's got a question there. I thought it was one that some might ask me for the natural reaction. At 4:34 in my video, a good question about creationism, which was asked by New to Christ. It's a great channel. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Person said, "What's wrong with that?" Matthew 18:3. Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter into the kingdom of heaven. I don't know if the word change is in there, but I think it says you must be one of these or something like that. But it's fine. The interpretation you use in our translation adequate. Then don't judge our Protestant brethren so harshly. Do you honestly think that it was started from the ambitious of the few, or emerged due to corruption out of the church at the time? There are consequences from that corruption which created the need for Protestantism. Otherwise, rocks would have praised his name. Yeah, I agree. I mean, remember, I begin, or the Orthodox Church begins to have dispute with the Catholic Church emerging in the 3rd or 4th and 5th centuries. Yeah, 5th and 6th it's growing, and then in 1054 crack. That's the Great Schism. So we got about 500 years here, approximately, to the Protestant Reformation. I think it was both. It was the corruption. It was mass corruption in the church. The obnoxiousness of the selling of indulgences. And so you have something like the Counter-Reformation, although I don't know much about the Counter-Reformation or what was done. What I know about it, that was proper. But did the Protestants come back and yield to that? No. Ambitious, John Calvin, very ambitious. Somebody had sent me something by Martin Luther, and his first translation of the German Bible was he didn't have the Gospel of James, or not the Gospel of James, the Epistle of James. And this person sent me these quotes from him about, apparently, and I don't know if this is 100% right because I'm hearing it from somebody else, so I'd like people to tell me what's up with this, so I may or may not hold to this by the time future viewers see this. That Martin Luther believed that Christ was had sex with Mary and all these other people, Mary Magdalene and these other people, and slept with prostitutes and stuff like that, which that has a lot of implications too. You know, when Christ says like children, it's the innocence and the naturalness of being a Christian, and being ready to learn, and not just go in there with a rigid view. Being a pure heart. When I said like children, I think I said more times they were, because I kept calling them children, and then I said juvenile, and I mean it in the way of more of like Lord of the Flies. And what I mean, Paul talks about those who are, young in the faith, they need milk, and those who are grown in the faith can eat, meat, basically. So there's different analogies for different things. How is a child gonna give somebody advice about adultery or things like that? Somebody gets killed. They really, I mean, of what I've seen of the evangelicals, and it creeped the hell out of me, was they are kind of like children with their childish views. Now, believing in Christ is not childish, and being part of the church is not childish. But of these hoping against hope and going down and taking out all the wisdom and all the tradition that helps us. I gather from this comment that you're not Protestant. Maybe you're Roman Catholic or Eastern Orthodox. I'm not sure. Well, probably Roman Catholic from the interactions that we've had. But of an individual Protestant, I don't judge them at all. In fact, there are many of them that are coming towards Orthodoxy that I know personally. And I think they're great people, and they struggle with this stuff. The truths of Christianity and the historic church and things like that. So I never want to single a single person out, like say, oh, this person. I'm speaking of the group and how the group acts. To me, it's childish evangelicals and Pentecostals. It's ridiculous. And when you're just like in surgery, you wouldn't want you'd want somebody that went to school for a long time, that learned, that then has done many surgeries, has practiced this, has honed their skill at this. You'd want them to do a surgery on you. So how much more for your spiritual life then? Or should it just be somebody who just gets out of 8th grade? I should have said 6th grade, but same thing. I mean, would you want them doing surgery on you? So how much more for your spiritual life? Wouldn't you like these people to be taught by the right people? Or instead of going to, let's say they go to college for psychology and they're supposed to do surgery on you. So the church was taught by the right people, the apostles and the martyrs and the church fathers. And it practiced its being the church. It was churching, I guess. I don't know. Through periods of horrid martyrdom and oppression, through periods of almost too much tolerance to the point of excess, to let the corruption of Rome, of the Roman Empire, and to oppression again, to liberation, through communism, and much more in between. So I would just ask that, and it's not child as in the analogy, because all the early commentaries I've seen, they were like between the ages, infants to toddlers to children 5 or 6 years old. Maybe 6 would probably be too much of a too old. I don't know. But if you have somebody past the age of 12, they wouldn't be considered little children. This is little children. It didn't say, it's not just, oh, these children. Past the age of 12, damn, it's like marrying age, I mean, so, yeah, I feel bad for them. It's not ripping on them horribly. It's that the Protestant, especially the evangelicals, fundamentalists, Pentecostals, those are all things that destroy people. And I'm in the wake here, and I guess it doesn't really matter what I care about it or how I feel about it, but I wind up picking up the pieces from that. People come to me and they're just shattered from having your spiritual life toyed around with like it's Play-Doh. And everybody's got their own interpretation. why can't I say this and be part of the church and start my own church? They're playing. It's like those play sets. You see them with there's like a stove, fake little plastic stove with like cabinets above it. You have all these plastic pots and cooking utensils, or like something like that. They're playing at cooking. Well, the Protestants and the fundamentalists and the Evangelicals and Pentecostals are playing at church, and that's pretty dangerous when they're playing at church and represented as salvation or Christianity or the church. So of every individual Protestant, I feel for them and I pray for them, and my heart breaks constantly over their stories when they tell them to me. But and many people who call themselves fundamentalists or Pentecostals or evangelical might be part of the church. They might be probably better than me at being a Christian. But of the organizations, it's sheer evil. Now, I don't think they're intending to do evil. I think they're trying to do good, which again I think compounds the pain and agony that the people feel when they're leaving. Yeah, it's pretty rough. I mean, just listening to a lot of these people's concerns, it's heartbreaking. I mean, it causes them to crack and almost lose their faith. Sometimes it does, and that's where you need to, smack your hand on the table and nope, not tolerating this shit anymore. It's all garbage. Not tolerating it anymore. Come home. We care about the individual, the people. Protestantism can be heaped on the junk pile of history. They could have reunited with the Eastern Seas, but they had to just do it their way. I mean, the church isn't Burger King. It's not have it your way. It's just how Christ does it. Now, there's economy, and the church is incredibly compassionate. But it's not, I want salvation to be this, and that's it for, well, that's fine for you, and that's perfect Christian. No, I mean, any time before this, schismatic from the church meant that. I mean, that was heresy. You cut off. I mean, is Arius allowed? I mean, what about the Arian teachings? Why aren't they bad? Jehovah's Witness fine? Is that not a cult that destroys people? Are the televangelists not wrong in destroying people? Oneness Pentecostal, Mormons, Seventh-day Adventists, other Pentecostal groups. I mean, you have Pentecostals saying you need to speak in tongues to be saved, or that's a sign of being saved. And you got the Baptists saying you're not allowed to do that. Same thing with the SDA. They say you don't speak in tongues. You got one person saying Calvinism is the true way. Another person saying Lutheranism is true. Who's right? Well, if you interpret the Bible this way, you can clearly see. If you interpret the Bible this way, you can clearly see. If you interpret the Bible this way, and what's a human being supposed to do? Just rips them right apart inside, and that's what I've seen. So I see it as ugly. I don't. The Protestants, individually, peace to them. I wish them to come home. I don't say anything negative about them. But of the organization, it's wicked. That's all I can say. I mean, Jehovah's Witness, right? Jehovah's Witness, Bible Tract Society are evil. That's an evil cult. Now, is the individual Jehovah's Witness evil? No. So, I mean, I think you just kind of see my videos as in just like interpreting like I want to kill all of them. No, I don't even want to say a negative word against them. I'm speaking against their the ism that's behind it and their beliefs, which need to be corrected. I don't speak to their relationship with Christ, at least not the individual. They may have one. The Spirit goes where He wills. Hope this cleared things up. Peace to you. May God save Serbia, Syria, and Ireland.